Hey everyone, welcome to the Mindset Playground, where you're going to get your daily dose of positivity. And I'm your host, LouAnne Hunt. So, this week on the playground, I am having so much fun. So, picture this, I am working in a little project called Podapalooza. And I thought, what the heck is Podapalooza? But you know what? This is my first time here. I would do it again in a heartbeat. So picture this, that you're walking into a room with like 200 people and you don't know anybody, but you want to start a conversation. So that's exactly what Podapalooza is, but only I've recorded them. And I can't wait to share these conversations with you because, oh my gosh, they are so much fun. So I have another fun guest on the playground, and I can't wait for you to get to know her because I already love her. Anyway, so for those meeting you for the very first time, who are you and what lights you up in the work you do?
So, first of all, Luan, thank you so very much for having me today. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. My name is Heather Dolland Tamam. I am the founder of Doltam Creative Solutions. And as an individual who has transitioned through multiple careers, I support people who are stuck in theirs. So that is my mission.
Wow, that's a big mission, but that's great. So, what's a hard lesson that turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to you?
I would say that releasing the image of perfection is much and holding on to what is real and genuine happiness is extraordinarily critical to leading any kind of life of meaning and fulfillment. I think for so many of us, we can become just consumed by the facade of the way that things are supposed to look. It may be because we were taught that. It is what we see. It's everything that you know, it's everything that's around you. But in your heart and your soul, you know that there's something missing. And having the courage to just step away from that and follow your own path, that I would probably say is it. Just
Wow.
having that courage to step away from the perfection, whatever it is.
Yeah. And perfectionism is definitely one of my down downfalls, I'll have to say. Doing something over and over and over again to make sure that it's perfect in my mind.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's
Well,
great.
even just the illusion of success and the supposed gratification and to make this land, I came to New York from Grenada to study architecture. So I have degrees in architecture and I have a master's in environmental technology. And the only reason those two degrees combined is because I had failed my architecture thesis, even though I had done everything I was told to do. And so I ended up in this program because I needed to, not because I wanted to. I ended up doing my master's because I know I had graduated with a degree that in a field that I absolutely resented and hated. I had no passion for anymore. Everything was really just lost as I was just drudging through, trying to just get through it so I could graduate. And when I was done, I was literally done. And so now what do you do? And so my evolution to happiness was first releasing 7 years of college and all of these fabulous degrees to do something that, frankly, I didn't need 7 years of college to do. And not being encumbered by the shame of feeling like I have downgraded my life because I knew what I was doing was making me happy. And so it's like, I need this thing that gives me fulfillment, and this is not it. And just being able to just walk away and figure it out. And so, yeah. That's how I got
Wow.
here. That is quite
Yeah.
literally how I got here.
Well, that's a great start to what I want to ask you next because it kind of fits with this whole idea of the perfectionism. So what do you think? What's something most people get completely wrong about success, happiness, or fulfillment?
I think a lot of people devalue their knowledge and their experience. For many of us, especially in this age of AI is an extremely wonderful tool that can help us do a lot of things very quickly. The one thing it cannot do is share lived experience, right? And so when you are able to connect on a human level with someone and have appreciation for their experience, even though it may not have been your own, you're able to relate to the pain, the shame, the embarrassment, the setback, all of those elements because you've been through those things yourself. And I think for a lot of us, we take what we do for granted because we do it, especially the things that we do on a day-to-day basis. This is so easy to you. It must be super simple to everyone else. And we devalue that experience and we devalue that knowledge. And so, one of the things, whenever I would speak with a client, and this just happened a few days ago, and she had traditional credentials in one field, ton of lived experience in another, and that's actually where she wanted to go. And then she's like, "Oh, but I need to go back to school." And I'm like, "But for what? Why on earth would you do that?" And then I said, "Remember when you graduated from college and you were trying to get that job and you didn't get that job? What was the primary reason that they gave you for not giving you that job? When you first came out of college, do you remember what that was? You
When,
wouldn't get that job when you first graduated from college because
yeah, you didn't have enough experience.
exactly. So why do you need to go back to school when you have a ton of lived experience? Let's focus on leveraging that. And so that's the mission, to help you realize that that knowledge that you have is transferable. Let us use it, let us value it. But that's the thing, they just take it all for granted. And I'm like, and then you're going to come out with this new degree, and guess what you're going to be told? You don't have enough experience. So what was the point of it all? Right? You already
Yeah.
have everything else. There's absolutely no need. Let's just leverage and double down on that.
Well, it's kind of like when we take all these coaching programs, right?
Also
We
true.
take all these programs and you take more because you don't think you're at that
Mhm.
level yet, where you can
Yup.
start helping somebody else, but yet,
Yup.
yeah, but you've lived it, like you said. So
Ex-
true. So true.
Exactly that.
So this is a perfect question then. What did you have to stop believing about yourself to move forward?
Hmm. So I have always been that individual that would take steps, not and being comfortable not knowing exactly what the destination was going to be, being completely honest. I think that was one character trait that supported me and served me really well in this process of evolution. But I think back of when I left being an environmental consultant and I went into the alcohol business. I went through a major identity crisis because for 15 years, what do? I'm an environmental consultant. Like nobody knows what that means. It's so fabulous and mysterious. It's like James Bond. They a woman of mystery. And then now I'm slinging booze. Like what? And so you feel like you've downgraded your life, right? And I realized that was actually when I'd written my first book, which was called Discovering the New York Craft Spirits Boom. This book right here.
Yes.
where I interviewed 30 distillers throughout New York State and I shared their stories. And I did this because I had left my job. My business at the time, I did food crawls. So the concept was instead of having the entire meal at one restaurant, you'll have appetizer, entree, dessert. So a progressive dining, apparently. I did not know this was a term when I created it. And then they're like, oh, progressive dining. I was like, oh, I guess so. I did not know. So when I stepped out, when I left the company to do this, I had no marketing budget. And I remembered getting an offer from a publisher on LinkedIn who was looking for authors. I was no author at the time. And I was hired to do the restaurant week in Astoria, which is in Queens, so not far away from where I live now in New York City. And when I went to do that event, I realized, my goodness, there are a lot of local distillers, much more than I realized. And these were all people who were making their products from different fruit and vegetable that were grown on their farm. And I'm like, hold on a second. I had been in the alcohol space doing tastings for another friend of mine who was from Grenada. How on earth did I not know about this? And what a wonderful way this would be for me to be able to gain that traction and to be able to just get people to know that I exist by interviewing all these people. So, making a long story very, very short, writing the book gave me, it took some of that shame away, if I'm going to
Mhm.
be honest, because it allowed me to now add author to my title.
Mhm.
And I was able, it gave me a place to stand and a place to, a platform to stand on, essentially. And then I became a certified specialist of spirits. Because, so just like you have like a Psalm for wine, I decided to have those credentials in the alcohol space. And so that helped me to buffer that transition a little bit. But yeah, everyone doesn't have to do that. That was my particular journey. And then I began to get away from that. As I began to just embrace the power of storytelling and understanding the value of my story, understanding the value of all of our stories, and then just helping our clients like, look, I realize that you're struggling through whatever it is, but let's work on telling your story and sharing your story in a meaningful way that makes you feel proud.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So that's great. And unfortunately, I wish we had a lot more time to talk about the
Time.
rest of your books as well. So I
Okay, it's okay.
would love for you to come and play with me on the Mindset Playground, not just through here, but one on one.
Absolutely. It would be my absolute pleasure and a total joy. Thank you.
Before we go, it's time for the lightning round on the Mindset Playground. Are you ready?
Done.
Okay.
Ready.
Quick answers. First thing that comes to your heart. All right. Number one, 10 seconds on the clock, please. Just kidding. What is bringing you the most joy in your life right now?
My dog.
Okay. What's something you did that scared you, but you're so glad you did it?
Writing my last book.
What's one strength you have that people might not see at first?
Resilience.
What's one small habit that makes a big difference in your day every day?
Gratitude.
Oh, finish this sentence. Life is too short to.
Eat bad food and drink bad wine.
I love that. And of course, since it is the Mindset Playground, what's one message you'd love to leave on the playground wall for everyone to see?
To focus on your soul's goal rather than your financial goal. Because if you focus on your soul goal, the finances will definitely take care of themselves.
Wow, those are some great, great answers. You've won the prize. A never used before
Yay.
two slice toaster.
I love it.
All
Thank you,
right.
Lou.
Well, listen, I have loved our conversation. Thank you so much for stopping by the
Thank you.
Mindset Playground today.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Have a wonderful day to everyone.
It was my pleasure.
Thank you.